So, as I get older, I find I only need 3 shops. Specsavers, Boots, and Greggs. Because my life is just specs, drugs, and sausage rolls these days.
God!
Yeah.
That one was all right, yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, yeah. I was working late yesterday, and Carol called, and she said, if you're not home back in 10 minutes, I'm giving the dinner I cooked for you to the dog. I was home in 5, because you know what? I hate anything to happen to that dog. I was watching...
right at the 70s, that one, didn't it?
It did. Yeah, right alongside the, someone had to hang a piece of meat around me. I'm not saying I'm unpopular, but someone had to hang a piece of meat around my neck just to get the dog to play with me. Now, so Daffy Duck and Elmer Fudd break into a distillery. Daffy turns to Elmer and says, "Is this whiskey?" And Elmer says, "Yes, it's whiskey." He says, "Whiskey is robbing a bank." Yeah, I know.
What was that scraping sound I heard there?
That was a barrel. That was a barrel. Not all construction work is equally enjoyable. For example, enlarging a drilled hole is boring, but fastening pieces of metal together is riveting.
Should have stopped earlier on.
I know. I only believe 12.5% of the Bible. I guess that makes me an atheist. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Hello, everyone, and welcome to... Actually, no, I got one more.
Oh,
Sorry,
no.
I got one more. I forgot. I had one more because I was quite pleased with this one. I hate it when I gain 20 pounds for a role and then realise I'm not an actor. Anyway. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Black Dog version 2, episode 215. I'm Lee.
I'm Darren.
I'm Elton.
And Jim is not here, are you, Jim?
Euphemism.
That's right, Jim. So Jim's not here this week because he's off. He's off having a barrage of tests because he is finding out whether or not he has got more sickness, or he may have just signed up to be tested on for lipsticks and various makeups. I don't know. We'll get to the bottom of it when he comes back next week. But but the picture he sent was lovely. He had rouge on, nice eyeliner. He wasn't crying at all. The rabbit next to him looked really happy. He had a smile painted on his face. No, anyway, no, he's fine. News is generally encouraging.
Good.
So that's good. But anyway, so yes, Jim's not here, so we will do our usual stuff. We will see how everyone's week's been, if anything's happened at all. We will do some feedback. We've got some feedback for Enemy. And then we will move on to any questions with asking for trouble. And I've seen there's a few, but I don't know. I don't know how far we'll get with them, but we'll see how we do. And then, of course, we'll be on to this week's movie, which is your pick, Dal, which is?
Sisu.
Sisu. Yes. We will be doing it in the style of Sisu, which means that there will be about an hour and a half of complete silence. And maybe the odd scream.
It'll be intense, though. Very intense.
It'll be very intense.
The
anyway,
odd barking noise as well.
Yes, the odd barking noise. So... excuse me. So I understand there isn't an awful lot going on in your week, Elton. We'll do your week.
There's loads going on. All of it is awful, so I don't want to talk about it.
Then don't.
No, I'm not going to.
No. Okay. That's... Oh, sorry, I've just been invited to something on Wednesday.
What's that? That wouldn't be a chat group, would it? By any chance, with some some officials in America, maybe the Defense Department.
No,
a bit like that.
It says here, join visual effects supervisor Matt Twyford and senior visualization supervisor Kaya Jabbar as they break down everything on Deadpool and Wolverine: The Art of Blood and Guts on Wednesday. And there's an RSVP.
Very nice.
Ooh.
Are you going? You going to go?
Well, it's tomorrow, but yeah, I'll see. Yeah, should do. Go and see.
Stuff
see
it,
what
go.
happens.
Just
Yeah. Anyway, so you got nothing going on, Elton.
Nah, no. Let's just move on from me. Let's try and save some time and I don't know, talk about something else in the questions bit.
Yes, and let's keep everything upbeat. Let's, because Jim is sitting there hanging on every word. He wants to be entertained.
Yes.
Let's do this for Jim.
Yeah.
We're doing it for you, Jim. Let's hope you don't have any allergic reactions to that mascara. Right, let's just keep going. And yes, let's move on to you then, Dal. How was your week, sir?
My week's been pretty good, actually. This Saturday just gone, we actually got out and did some stuff.
Oh yeah.
Starting with going off to see go off to see a play, actually, or a performance, I should say. Yes, for a show called "Hold On to Your Butts," which is the parody of Jurassic Park. It's basically 3 people on stage. One does Foley work, and the other 2 act out almost the entire film with any props they can get hold of.
Right.
It's absolutely brilliant. Really, really good. Really, really funny. It was at the Arts Theatre near Leicester Square.
Yeah.
The tickets didn't cost that much. I think it was about 25, 30 quid.
Yeah.
And it's about an hour and 10 minutes long.
Right.
But it's great. They even do low price trailers for other films like The Matrix and stuff like this. And the creativity that they use in those. Give you an example. You know the bit in The Matrix where Neo sort of like gets shot at, and he does the whole lean back thing. Well, what they do is to show the actual path of the bullets, they've got springs. They just extend them towards the actual bloke playing. Like
Neo? Slinkies.
Yeah.
It's really, really well done. Very, very funny.
Right.
And hold on to your butts. Fantastic.
And what theatre was this? Brilliant.
This was the Arts Theatre. You know where Orbital Comics used to be?
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's right next door to that.
It was near the British Museum.
No, it's Leicester Square.
Oh, that.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
You know where they've got. You know where they've got Five Guys, which
is
right by.
Yes.
It's there, and where I had my 50th birthday.
Oh, yes.
Remember that place? It's there. That's that bit there.
Oh, I know the one. Yeah, that's the one that was doing ghost stories for a while as well.
That's right. Yeah. So they've got that right. I think they've still got it running. I don't think it's the last performance.
Lovely.
But if you do get a chance to go and watch it, please go. You will love every minute of it. Like I say, it's a really, really good parody of Jurassic Park. Every time they were doing things like the Jeff Goldblum parts, where they'd be like a couple of seconds in the film, they would extend it because they do all the yes, oh, there may be trouble ahead, that kind of thing. So yeah, very, very funny. Highly recommend it.
Nice.
So after that, went off to Forbidden Planet and lasted about.
You mean the Funko Pop?
Yeah, Funko Pop. And I've lost my immunity to the smell of sweaty bodies and just all round awkwardness.
Did they have any Funko Pops in stock?
Oh, fucking yes, did they?
Oh, they did. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Although it's kind of in competition now with anime stuff in there and mangas and stuff, because literally anime has taken over. You know where they used to have all the comics in the corner, DC and Marvel and stuff like that? Well, that's now been pushed right over, and the whole corner is now just Japanese comics. That's it. And it extends outside that as well. So, and it's still the same sort of place, still, forbidden prices. So, yeah, not much bought there, I've got to say. But there you are. So anyway, coming out of that, finally we went off to the Natural History Museum.
Oh, I'm going there on Saturday, but yeah, go on. Yep.
Yeah, and I had a good old walk around there. Went to see mainly the dinosaur stuff, We did see other things like the Mambles and the other things in there, but mainly went around to look at the dinosaur bits and bobs. And I've got to say, after about an hour or so in there, that was about enough. And it wasn't because the place is boring; it's because people, just people, just I'm going to be looking in this direction while walking in that direction. I'm just going to get in the way. And it's just, just had to get out of there. But apart from that, the bits that we did do, we really enjoyed. Again, highly recommend the Natural History Museum and also the Science Museum as well, around the corner. Cool. But just remember, folks, if you're going to go, you've got to book in advance. So get on the website. You can get free tickets, but they do, there is the option to donate. So even if you donate a $5, it's better than nothing.
But the booking is only over the Easter holidays, the school holidays, basically.
No, it's for everything now. You have to book to get in.
Okay. Cool.
So go on the website beforehand and book a ticket. That's what they say anyway, because they do let people in when it's crowded. They let people in there on batch times. So if you're there for you book one for 2:30, you've got to be there for 2:30 to get in, because otherwise you have to wait around to see if there's enough space for you to go in on another party. Or that's what it says on the website anyway.
Okay.
Cool. There you go.
So you can't just rock up to these places anymore then?
See, this
you used to be able to, but
this is where I'm confused, because you can, but I mean I've rocked up to those places. In fact, we've booked tickets this weekend because we've got some Australian cousins coming over, and they've got some kids, and so we're going to take them to the Natural History Museum on Saturday. But the thing is, it's more. How can I put it? It's more just, it's a sort of flow control thing. You can't have like thousands of people just barging in, because that's where everyone goes because it's free. And but I've been there for certain events, like the photography, the natural history photography thing, but amateur wildlife photographer of the year. That's you have to book. That's fair enough. But for just the general walking in, normally you don't. But only when it's like Easter and summer holidays and stuff like that, they kind of enforce it, because you get, parents who have, no money or are in the area, and they just go, oh, this would be a good idea, and drop in, which is cool, which is the whole idea. But, but it's just,
It will tend to do it on the last weekend of the holidays as well. It's like, we haven't done anything for 6 weeks. What should we do? Make it like
you'll get harassed.
We can remember something.
Anyway, I very much doubt you'll get asked for your ticket when you're walking through the door.
No.
We didn't, even though we were told to book.
Yeah, you do at the Science Museum. I know that for a fact, because there are a lot of exhibitions that you do have to pay or book to go into, like their video game one, or that sort of thing, the retro game one. But it's, or the IMAX. That's the other one, the IMAX they've got in there. But anyway, cool. Anyway, so what else, dude?
Let's see what else. Oh, watched a new TV show on Amazon this week called The Bondsman, which is Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
And he basically plays a bondsman who gets offed within the first 15 minutes of the show, and it suddenly comes back to life. Suddenly just comes back to his body, and realizes as it goes on that he's been hired by the devil,
as you do,
to rein in certain demons that have escaped and
Didn't
gone. They did this once before. This was a show that was very much like that. However, I don't remember the show in question, the old one, featuring people being lifted up into the air and then folded like a piece of fucking paper. So yeah, it's really quite weird, that effect. It's very well done.
Yeah.
Again, Kevin Bacon's always good for a laugh, but there's a lot of swearing in it. A lot. everything is pissed, fuck, shit, everything like that.
Are you being a swearing prude?
No, I'm not. But it's just, even for me, I'm sat there like, when you watch things like Twin Town, and it's like, this film's trying too hard.
Oh,
because
I didn't
every
get
word,
that far.
every other word that comes out of everyone's mouth is fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. This isn't exactly like that, but it's just, you've got a swear quota and you're sticking to it, aren't you?
Yes.
So
okay, yeah. I get that one. That's sort of like, we're going to try really, really, really hard to be all edgy, and it's just like, nah, you don't.
And it's like every sentence had at least one swear word in it. So okay, right, fantastic, lovely, wonderful. So yeah, that's it for me anyway.
Yeah. Okay, no worries.
So that's it. That's the only stuff I've done this weekend.
No problems at all. Okay, well, my week. First off, the things I watch. I've been watching more of Daredevil. I've caught up with that now, which is good. I'm still of the opinion that there are episodes which Netflix made and there are episodes which Disney Plus made. Even more so now, because you can tell, because the Disney Plus ones, there'll be here's a reference to a thing that we made.
Everything's intertwined now, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like, oh, maybe you've heard of Miss Marvel. No.
Miss Marvel? Was she in it? I don't remember seeing her in the MCU.
Yeah, Miss Marple was definitely one of the Avengers.
Really? Was she there at Endgame?
Yeah, she was.
On your left, young man.
Yeah, her and Columbo. Her and Columbo coming in.
Excuse me, sir. Just one more thing, Thanos. All right, I fucking did it. It's me. It was me. Just stop.
So you're saying you got a gauntlet, right? You got nothing on that gauntlet? Because it's funny, because me and Mrs. Columbo here, we collect jewels, yeah. So I've been enjoying the Daredevil one. It's improved with more of it kind of as it's gone on. It's still not won me over entirely, but I'm sitting there watching it going, well, this is good. This is okay. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
And it's probably the closest I've got to enjoying a Marvel thing in a while. Which is quite the turnaround, considering the first episode I was just like, nope, I'm out. What else? Oh, and then I watched Mickey 17.
All right. What did you think?
Overall, I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a couple of... I think that if there's a dictionary, a picture dictionary, and you open it up, and there's a thesaurus section, and in the thesaurus section is a visual thesaurus, and it has the word on the nose, there'll be a picture of the Mickey 17 poster right beside it. Because subtle, it is not. At all. And I watched it, and I enjoyed it. Let me get that out of the way. And, I like the performances. The tone was a bit wobbly in places. Was it the president's wife suddenly deciding that she's going to talk about sources at random points for no discernible reason? Just became wearing quirkiness that just bored me. But there's lots of stuff where it's like, yeah, you're not as clever as you think you're being. The aliens themselves, within like a minute of seeing them, I just went, right, I know where this is going. And sure enough, for the next hour and 30 minutes, I was waiting for it to turn around and tell me something that I figured out 5 minutes in. And yeah, it's the political stuff is just like, yeah, I mean, you're having fun taking the piss out of Trump, and Mark Ruffalo's not so much chewing the scenery as literally devouring it wholesale.
Yeah.
So, but it's okay. I just don't think it's up there with Parasite, and its tone is more like Bong Joon-ho's The Host. Have we done? We haven't done The Host, have we?
The
one with the
no.
the one with the gigantic salamander creature?
No, we haven't.
I don't think so.
No, okay. Well, we might have to do that at some point. But basically, the tone sort of like 1 minute you're thinking, "Oh, this is super serious," and then 5 minutes later you're thinking, "Oh, this is a satire," and then 10 minutes later there's like, it's buffoonery, and you're just thinking, it doesn't quite work. But overall, okay. So yeah, there was that, and yeah, the only other thing, I mean, it was Japanese blossom season day, and so me and Carol and Lisa went to see the Japanese blossoms in the orchards, which was very nice, very pleasant during a summer's day, just wandering around, being quite nice until I went to the food stall, and they had all these things. Oh, there was
lent on the tree, and they all fell down.
No. Well, there was two things. There was two things. Firstly, there was a whole bunch of Asian culture sort of like demonstrations. So there was kimonos and script writing and all that kind of thing, and that was really kind of cool. And then there was one guy who was giving demonstrations of samurai swords. Yeah.
Okay.
And
oh god,
undoubtedly, his
was it called Stumpy? Was he?
No. yeah. He was kind of lacking two arms and was laying on the ground saying, "Look at my Dark Knight, my Black Knight impression from Monty Python." Yep. No, it was just really weird because he's standing there and he's showing all his swords off and he's going, "This is a Hanzo, blah blah blah," and he's going on about it. And you can tell all the audience want him to do is hit something with his fucking sword. Hit the bamboo stick that's behind you. Hit the bamboo stick. And he's like, how can I put it? I'm not saying cultural appropriation because that's unfair. That's not what he's doing. But it's quite funny to see a guy who quite clearly is just standing there going, "Hey, everyone, you've seen Kill Bill, haven't you? This is one of those kind of swords." And you're thinking, yes. Not really funny. They've got one piece of black samurai armor, which looks like Darth Vader's taking a load off and just sitting on a sofa. And he's just standing there. It's this thin little geezer. He's got this sword that's like 3 times his length. And he's like, "Now, I'm sure you'll want to see me hitting something, but do you remember Kill Bill?" And he's like, "They do all this," and he's just swinging it about in the air, and you're thinking, "Are you actually going to fucking do anything here or whatever?" And eventually he hits this thing. He goes, "Oh, let me show you the right way, because you should be able to do it in one." Right? And you're like, "Oh, okay, here we go." And he goes, "Yeah," and he hits it. And this thing, like, basically falls off the table. The thing he hits. The big bamboo log. So you think, oh, you didn't cut it. So he puts it back up and he goes, "Oh, I didn't quite hit it with the right angle, but you've got to use it with the right angle because, and it's just like, and he's doing all this posing and he's sort of waving this sword around. And then basically he finally hits it and it kind of cuts and everyone goes, and he goes, "Thank you very much. Good night." Fucks off. And I'm just like, wow. In his mind, he's a Jedi master swinging a sword. But what he did was basically knock a log off a table and then try again and got it right. That's it. But he talked for about 20 minutes. And the armor was quite funny. I did take a photograph of the black armor. That was it. Did look like Peter Dinklage was trying to be Darth Vader. But yeah, no, it was fine. It was the whole thing itself. The whole event was really nice. So that was good. So we went to that, and that's about it. Really, I've been doing some drawing. I've been doing some work, but I can't really talk about work really as much as I might like. So we'll just leave it there. So we will leave it right there, and we will go and look, he says, slowly dragging it out so he can get to the bloody Facebook group, because you know what? Facebook has just reset, and as it's reset, I've lost the bloody group. Why can't I see the bloody group? This is taking too long.
I'm looking as well.
You're looking.
Well, you've got to look at it from a certain angle. Because, you should be able to see straight through it then and not knock it off table.
Not knock it off table.
Oh, no. Granddad's knocked it off table with his washibi sword. You're not supposed to use it like a fucking cricket bat, Granddad. You're supposed to use the small edge, the thin bit at the end there. Oh, blimey. Yes, that's sharp.
That's sharp, that is. Right, okay, so here we go. It is this. So here we are again in Black Dog asking for trouble. Now Jim isn't here, so there may be a couple of questions that may not fill out quite as much, because I think Jim might have helped along with one or two of these, but so we might have to come back to them next week if he returns next week. Depends on how he feels. The first one, is I think it's a pretty straightforward one. From Andy Palastides. You're in a desert. You're walking along in the sand when all of a sudden you look down. You see a tortoise. It's crawling towards you. You reach down, you flip the tortoise over on its back, and the tortoise lays on its back, its belly baking in the hot sun, beating its legs, trying to turn itself over, but it can't. You're not without your help. You're not helping. Why is that?
Because they're bastards, really. That's why I'm not helping.
Because I hate tortoises.
Because they're evil, and we need to destroy them all, because otherwise they will take over the world. They are mucking around the stock market at the moment. That is the reason why things are so chaotic. And so I think we should look upon all tortoises with disdain.
Exactly. And then before you know it, you'll have ninja ones in the sewers.
Yep.
With eating your pizzas, talking to rats. Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Saying cowabunga every 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. It's not even 1990s anymore, bastards. Why are they doing that?
Well, I think I'd have to say if the reason I wasn't flipping it back is because I'm obviously high, because that's the only reason I can think of why I'd be suddenly in a fucking desert, inexplicably. Why would I be there any other? Why? What? Nah.
Well, don't get too agitated, guys, because, it's only a test, and, I'll tell you what, let's try something different. Let's ask all the good things in life. Let me ask you about your mother. And at that point, they pull the gun and shoot me. Right. Yes. So, here we go. Here's one. I'm sure you're going to love this one, Elton. And again, this is one where we are going to sorely miss Jim's influence here. So, David Renane, Happy Dave, down in New Zealand, he came back to us and said, you have a time machine and a percussive casting budget. I think persuasive casting budget. Sorry, that's my eyes. Sorry. Your mission...
budget. Yeah, is that like lots of money rolled up together so you can lob it at someone? And,
No. It's all about symbols. No, sorry.
That was good.
Yeah, it's a persuasive casting budget. Your mission is to swap out an incarnation of James Bond with an incarnation of Doctor Who. Which one would you switch and why?
Oh, God. So are we creating a new James Bond from Doctor Who or vice versa?
I think it's either way. I think you can take a Doctor Who and put it in James Bond, or you can put a James Bond in Doctor Who.
Sylvester McCoy as James Bond.
Yeah. And what James Bond would he be in? What James Bond story?
Oh, he's definitely tied to a chair.
Getting smacked in the bollocks by the sheep. Left a bit. Oh, right, left a bit. Oh, hello. Left a bit.
Would you?
Sylvester McCoy naked with nothing but a pork pie hat on, sat on a chair, getting smacked in the bollocks by a dock rope. Yeah. Okay. I think that wins. Darren, do you have an option for that one?
Do I have an option for that one? So it can either be
Doctor Who to James Bond or James Bond to Doctor Who. Pick an actor from one to transplant into the other.
Ooh. I know. I think it'd be quite a laugh to have Sean Connery as fucking Doctor Who. Sure, Davros. It's the shining sheen of
I'm in Scarrow. I'm in Scarrow. In a Scarrow. I'm in Scarrow. I'm
Hey,
Davros.
you, Davros, fuck off.
Goose-stepping pepper pots like you should try reading books instead of burning them. Yeah. Okay. So you want Sean Connery as Doctor Who. What any particular episode of Doctor Who you want to throw him in?
I think anything that has a lot of S's in it. So just so we can get the most out of our investment.
Oh yeah. So something with the Silurians, or maybe the Sontarans.
Hey, you shit over there.
Sontaran stratagem. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, let's think. My turn. I would take. I think. I'm thinking sort of like getting Pierce Brosnan and dropping him in a sort of like very
yes
Pierce Brosnan in place of a Tom Baker, any Tom Baker episode, and you could just have him kind of looking basically he's squinting so you could have him replace every shot of Tom Baker where Tom Baker's got googly eyes going, "Hello, I'm mad, me," and you'd have instead it'd be like antimatter. You'd have Pierce Brosnan like a stock still, like a block of wood, squinting as if he's looking straight at the sun,
like Renee Zellweger.
Yeah, exactly. He's like my nan trying to read without her glasses, isn't it? It's just like squint. Yeah, I think that would work. I think Pierce Brosnan standing there in one of the more comical shows. You know, like, yes, looks like a Loch Ness monster. I'm just gonna wear my tam o' shanter and walk all over the moors. And yeah, we could have Terror of the Zygons with Pierce Brosnan in it, just squinting at bad green screen sock puppets.
What about Timothy Dalton punching that thing over a millennia?
punching the wall. Hell bent and heaven sent. Yeah, well, there you go. I mean, firstly, well done for Googling that fast.
No, I haven't Googled. I know that.
You know that one?
I accidentally caught that one. Yes.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, heaven sent. It's a great episode.
What was that alien, Doctor? I don't know, but we must have scared the living daylights out of it.
Freeze, you bloody bastards!
It's not that smooth. It's freeze, you bloody bastards.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, Timothy Dalton in any role would be fine. Just being smarmy. Yeah, in fact. Yeah, in fact, Patrick Troughton in License to Kill, see little geezer sort of with a bob haircut and a piccolo trying to roll a 70-ton truck on its side.
My love language.
This is the language
how I
of
win
love.
the ladies. I can play this without the use of my hands.
Oh yeah, there you go. Right, okay, one last one for this one. And it is from Odile Thomas. And again, we're missing Jim's influence here. I feel like we would have got some feedback on this one. What's the weirdest near paranormal experience you've ever had? For example, Odile says, being pushed off a train track just in time not to be killed. I think I had a guardian angel on my side that morning.
Blimey.
I mean, I'm glad she's all right, and yeah. But yes,
Why are you walking along the train tracks? Are you going to see a dead body?
I don't know. Yeah, stand by me.
Yeah,
Nice work.
that was
Deep
good.
cut. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, well done, Centurion. Like it.
Thank you.
So go on in. Anyone had a near paranormal experience, as in a fate type thing?
A fate type thing?
Well, I mean, that's kind of what she's saying. She thought she had a guardian angel on her side that morning. It sort of sounds like a Final Destination kind of vibe.
I have. Okay,
Go on.
I'm trying. No, that's not paranormal though.
It doesn't have to be paranormal. Just say it because clearly we haven't. Because otherwise, one of us would have said something.
I had a moment years and years ago when I was working in this golf. I can't think of the name of the actual golf club center place type thing, and I was chatting to someone, and when you're chatting in a car park, and then suddenly we took like 3 steps forward for no reason whatsoever, and then a car plowed into the wall right next to us.
Right. That's a Final Destination. That is, isn't it? It's like just one quick sort of like sidestep, and I never.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've had a few of them, and it's normally cars. I don't know whether it's the same person driving it and just trying to get me slowly killed. I don't know, like Wile E. Coyote or something,
or like was it? Or like Peter Organ, who basically keeps trying to run me over in his silent electric car. Yeah. I appear to have some music playing.
You do?
Yeah.
Where's that music coming from?
I have no idea. That could be my supernatural experience.
Can you smell burnt toast?
I don't know. Can you hear any music, or is it just me?
I can't hear any music.
Oh, well.
No, the voices in my head are talking too loudly for me to hear any music.
Right. Darren, have you got any weird paranormal experiences or near paranormal experiences?
Well, yeah. I mean, I was walking across a graveyard once, and I heard this like chink, chink, chink. And I followed this noise. And there was this little old bloke sitting next to a gravestone. And he had like hammer and chisel in his hand. And I said,
"Oh, God.
Excuse us, mate, what are you doing there? Why are you chiseling that gravestone?" He went, "They spelled my name wrong." So there we go. No, I've not had anything interesting like that happen to me at all. No.
Ah, okay. I mean, the closest I ever got was... how can I put it? This is really distracting me now.
What tabs have you got open?
No, nothing. It's not coming through on my tabs. It is literally coming through from my. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go. There you go. I've recorded that. I'm gonna go and turn it down or off. Hold on. Alexa.
Didn't have to click his fingers. He could have just written down 38 minutes. But,
he could have done, yes.
Because I can see it's 38 minutes.
We'll have to tell him that. Repeat it to him constantly. He will love that.
Oh, he accidentally picked up a packet of crisps as well.
Oh, that was me.
Oh, was that you?
Yeah, I've got a bag of salt with popcorn.
Did you hear that?
What was it? Where was it coming from?
Well, there you go. Spooky. My Alexa had decided to start playing. What was it? Drill music.
Drill music.
Yes,
music to drill by.
No, as in rap, sort of like garage rap.
Sledgehammer.
Oh, one of those new type of musics, isn't it?
Yes.
Sounds
those
like
new types of music. I'm not going to cut it. I'm just going to leave this in. Fuck it.
Are you?
Yeah, I am.
Right, okay, yeah, fine.
Because you undoubtedly just heard me just go off and go, "Oh, Alexa, shut up." So there you go. Anyway, well, apart from a spooky Alexa, I would say that the closest I got to a spooky experience was was in the first house that Carol and I actually bought. It was a flat in Hither Green. It was right by a graveyard, and this isn't a joke. And basically, it was right by a graveyard, between the graveyard and the train tracks. And so the car park was facing the graveyard. And essentially, it meant the neighbours are quiet enough. And there was a chain link fence between the graveyard and us. Anyway, Carol used to get a train into London, and she'd either get one to Grove Park, in which case she gets home by bus, or she'd get one to hit the green, in which case she'd need a lift from me. One day, she's gone out for work, drinks with work afterwards. She's called me up at 10 o'clock at night, said, I need a lift. I need a lift back from the train.
From the airport.
From the airport.
Wow, she really was there.
She really was drunk. No, from the train station. So I was like, okay, fair enough. So I go outside, sit in the car, I turn the car on, turn the lights on, and there is someone standing on the opposite side of the railings of the chain link fence facing me.
Jesus.
And I'm like, fuck, and I nearly slammed the old accelerator down and went straight forward, but I didn't. I had the wherewithal to stop, and it was actually the security guard patrolling the edge of the graveyard. Because I got out and went, you silly bastard, I nearly fucking run you over. I was like, I'm sorry, I just saw you there and I didn't want to scare you. And I was like, you fucking standing right in my fucking beam of light, you pitlock.
Well, if you had run him over and killed him, he was in the right place, wouldn't he?
He wouldn't have had to go far, no, admittedly.
Exactly. There you go,
Anyway,
you saved money. Wonderful.
Yeah. So it wasn't so much a guardian angel on his shoulder, on my shoulder. It's more on his, because I'll tell you what, he was literally one shock away from me going and flattening the silly sod. Yeah, other than that, every time I've ever escaped a DIY disaster, I think I've had an angel on my shoulder, so I think that's done the job. Anyway, that's questions and answers for the moment with a weird interlude. And yes, if anybody wants to leave any more, go on the Facebook group, facebook.com/group/the Black Dog Podcast, and we will we'll read them out on the next episode and try and answer them where we can. As you can tell, any question is obviously up for grabs, so just throw them up there. There's a pinned post on the Facebook group. Anyway, right, so now it's time for a bit of feedback. Last week we did Enemy. The feedback was different, I think is safe to say.
Okay.
So the first one we had was for Tom, first-time feedbacker Tom McCamberley. And he said, "Lo, Ottawa is mentioned on the Black Dog, and I am summoned," because he is from their Canada, the place of much resistance to their southern tire burning cousins. And he goes on to explain about the spider. You know the spider. I said there was a spider sculpture.
Yeah.
Mammon. Yeah, or Maman. Mm-hmm. And he said, Maman, mother in French.
Maman.
Yeah, Maman, he's just killed a man. Is, as you said, in a sculpture located here in Ottawa. It's located in the National Gallery of Canada, across the street from Notre Dame Cathedral Basilica, and just down the street from Baywood Market, the local booze-up district, and the US Embassy that's just up the street from the Canadian Mint. So as you can see, Ottawa knows where to put its fuck-off spiders. Though personally, I always thought it looked more like a Ralph McQuarrie beastie from the Empire Strikes Back production art, which he helpfully provides. That spider, though, in the production art, actually turned up in Clone Wars, it wasn't Clone Wars, it was Rebels, wasn't it? Star Wars Rebels turned up in there. Yes, going on, thank you very much for that, Tom. Good to hear from you. Then we had Andy Mack, who followed up on the Commodore 64, my beloved Commodore 64. last week, and he said, I thought you might appreciate this. My mate is a retro gaming version of MacGyver. He's Frankensteined one of our old C64s into a Raspberry Pi emulator with an awesome arcade-style controller. And he supplies a picture of that. I've got mixed feelings. It's a lovely Commodore 64 original bread bin with the power and everything, and it's got arcade buttons in it where
It's
the keyboard
painful,
used
isn't
to be. I mean, yeah, hats off to him. He's put a Raspberry Pi in there. Old C64s are notorious for having all their electronics basically burn out over time. So hats off for that kind of level of ingenuity. It is totally MacGyver, but it does make my eye twitch that there is no keyboard right there and just some bright buttons. So thank you very much for that, Andy, and say hi to your legendary mate. But it's good, but it's also making me twitch. The other thing was following up on questions and answers from last week. Lee Williams writes in to say, if we didn't have World War II and no nuclear bombs, would that mean that there was no Fallout games because the bomb wasn't invented? That's deep.
Yeah, no, there wouldn't be any Fallout games at all.
No, there wouldn't. Is that a bad thing?
It would have saved me 20 minutes trying to sit down for a test in Fallout 4, definitely.
Nice. Yeah. Following up on the Hitler time travel killing question from last week, Jeffrey Mark Hyman posts up, "Do I have the right?" Genesis of the Daleks speech from Doctor Who, with Tom Baker saying, "Does he have the right to wipe out the Daleks?" And finally, we have Teresa Burnside. I don't know who she's related to somehow. I don't, just random person dialing up. She says, I'm disappointed that the theme tune for this week was not Incy Wincy Spider, because I did the Spider-Man theme tune. What a bloody stupid ending. Fuck you, writers. Do your job properly. Can't wait for next week's movie. Nothing better than watching someone slaughter Nazis. And that's
when I read that, I could almost hear her voice and Jim's reaction as that film finished, going, "Oh,
fuck it!" Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you can't just do a spider and then fuck off.
You can't just throw a spider at me and fuck off. Yeah, exactly. And finally, we had to the email address, which is feedback@blackdogpodcast.com. We had Pete Collins, who wrote to say, "Hello again, Black Dog. I just wanted to give some feedback on Enemy. From the start, I had a feeling this would be a load of toss. Had a feeling that it would be the Timu David Lynch at home. At first, I was struggling to care. Then when Jake meets his doppelganger, I was intrigued as to where it might go. But I kept thinking, if you saw someone who looked like you wouldn't necessarily think much of it. People can look like other people, so why is this guy so obsessed about it? I kept looking at this film, trying to find meaning and understanding, but I don't think anyone in the film does. I wondered if it might go to the being John Malkovich route, but it didn't really go there. It threatens to do it in reverse, but doesn't really go anywhere with it. The giant spider made me think of this comic where a regular guy dreams he's a dwarf in a fantasy setting, and then when he wakes up, he finds out he's in the thrall of a giant spider. I'm inclined someone saw that someone saw that and tried to make something of it. Just to go on to that, I think it's a variation on the story Beyond the Aquila Rift, which was turned into a episode of Love, Death and Robots.
Okay.
But anyway, I think who did that? Alistair Reynolds? Beyond the Aquila Rift, and it's basically a guy in a spaceship that got lost, and he's got his wife with him, and he thinks he's all fine and safe with her, but that she keeps distracting him from trying to leave the ship or trying to make the ship fly away, and it turns out that he figures out that she's actually just a psychic projection from the spider that's caught the ship in deep space. It's quite cool, actually. Anyway, back to Pete's feedback. He says, I'm inclined that they saw this and tried to make something of it. Or maybe they got a leftover script of Spider-Man versus Mysterio and did what they could. Really, though, this is a film that you could keep looking at for clues and meanings, but it's never going to give you answers. Every time I started looking for meaning, I just got the feeling it was a load of old wank and stopped. It's weird. There are so many places it could have gone, but by the time it got there, the film was practically over. Then the film just throws a giant spider in your face and fucks off, to quote Jim. Until next time, Pete Collins. Thank you very much for that, Pete. And yeah, like I say, I think that in the thrall of a giant spider thing is beyond the Aquila Rift, or at least a variation of it. Right. Well, there you go. There's feedback. If anybody else would like to send any feedback in, you can do it as ever through the Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/the Black Dog Podcast. Or you can go send it in via email, which is feedback@blackdogpodcast.com. Or you can hit me up on Blue Sky and drop it in my DMs, madam, which is cartoonbeardy.bsky.social. And we'll leave it there. Right, let's take a break. I'll go and have another word with Alexa. Bloody stupid thing. And then, we'll be back to talk Sisu. Until then, roll the jingle. Right, so Sisu film is a 2022 Finnish historical action thriller film, written and directed by Jamari Haranda and produced by Petri Jokiranta. Whatever. Petri, he did it. The film stars Jorma Tomia alongside Askil Henny, Jack Doolan, Mimosa Willamo, Oni Tumol. Oh, for fuck's sake. Anyway.
That was a real fun with those names.
Yeah. Just look it up on Wiki. There's lots of people, and I'm not going to murderize their names. I'm just not. Anyway. The film is set during the Lapland War between Finland and Germany during the end of World War II. A legendary Finnish army commando turned gold prospector attempts to defend himself from being robbed and murdered by the SS platoon, led by the infamously brutal, corrupt officer. So that's pretty much the entire plot. There's a lot more about the making of it than there is about the plot, to be honest, on the wiki. The budget was €6 million. How much do you think it made at the box office? Elton.
One potato masher attached to a dog and a Nazi getting run over by a tank. Is that Heimlich?
Was that Heimlich? Was that Heimlich? That's one of ours. No. Anyway, yep. Darren, how about you? What do you reckon it made?
I think bills, big bills, should be easier to carry.
Nice. Cool. Well, you're both utterly wrong, because what it actually earned was a single pickaxe that can literally dent a tank. Because why not? Why not? Why not be able to puncture an entire tank with a fucking pickaxe?
Don't get me started on the plane.
And the plane. Zip line, the plane. No, actually, it made a box office of $14.3 million. So it basically made its money back. Yeah, because you doubled the budget for the marketing and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so basically it broke even.
Mm-hmm.
The movie was supposedly to be a science fiction one initially.
Oh,
God knows
right.
what they would have done with that. But anyway, so yes. I don't really know what we're going to talk about with this one. Right, we'll do the non-spoiler section. We'll go around the table. I will also read out Jim's feedback. Jim sent a little bit of feedback in to us. Hopefully not from his medical procedure, because that would be weird. But, he did. And let's go around the table. So, Darren, you picked this, so you go last. Elton, what did you think of Sisu?
I don't know. I really don't know. On one hand, man, it's enjoyable. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, it's fucking dumb as shit. And so I'm caught between this rock and a hard place of whether I enjoyed it or really disappointed with it, and I don't know what it is. I think I went into it thinking it was quite serious, and it wasn't. It's nowhere near serious.
Yeah,
but I don't quite know at the moment, I'm afraid.
Okay, that's cool. Well, I'll do Jim's one. He wrote in to say, "Have a good one, guys. Mr. Jim's quick review. In this World War II Scandetti Western, because Scandi and Spaghetti Western, the moral of the story is there's no bad way to kill Nazis." So there you go. So I think he enjoyed it. For me, this is the second time of watching it. I watched it over lockdown. Again, it was one of I think this was second lockdown, like second breakfast. But it was the one, basically this was when everyone was getting into the right, okay, you can pay cinema prices for a rental and watch a film at home. And yeah, I feel about it the same way as I did back then, which is it's incredibly enjoyable on a visceral level, like a John Wick movie. But like a John Wick movie, you get to the end and there's an escalation point, and you just go, and suddenly it goes from visceral action movie, full on, stakes and action and pacing and everything, and then at the end it all but ends up with hey, that's all, folks. And it goes, I'm a Looney Tunes cartoon and you didn't realize. And yeah, and the second time around I was kind of ready for it, but the first time around I was a bit what who what Whereas the first time I watched it and I was like, oh, this is gritty and dirty and it's nasty, and everything's painful, and he's gonna end up with sepsis by the end of this, and then about the last third I just went, okay,
yeah. I think I'm kind of at the same place.
But it was enjoyable. I found it enjoyable, but it's just there's a shift, and it's just like, okay.
I think I know where the shift is.
Yeah, but anyway, we'll get to that in the spoiler zone. Darren, what about you? This was your pick?
Indeed, I've never seen this one before, but I've wanted to, and I thoroughly loved it. I loved it. I didn't care if it was scientifically accurate. I couldn't give a shit. Right. I just enjoyed him going. In fact, I didn't think it went nearly far enough. I really didn't. I'm not joking. I will talk about this a little bit further on, but I was actually almost screaming at him at the screen to do a thing at one point, and he wouldn't do it. So, but I thought he let them off very easily. But the action, I loved it all. It's it's not a film to be taken seriously at all. That's it. It's one of these just pure entertainment films. It's like a story of revenge that we've seen loads of times before, but with a bit with the gore turned up to 11. Yeah, in certain places. So I liked it. Like I say, I really loved it. I thought it was a great film. It entertained the shit out of me. So yeah, I got my money's worth out of that one.
Cool. Okie dokie. In which case, you've heard it. You've heard our thoughts. It is on. It's not Netflix, is it? Is it Netflix?
Yeah,
Netflix.
Netflix. Yeah, it's on Netflix. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. You've heard our thoughts. I think you're suitably prepared for where it goes.
I don't know.
Well, I think we kind of eased them into the idea of a slight shift. That's all I'm going to say. And we'll run the random pressing of jingles because I still haven't sorted out a proper spoiler zone thing. And yes, and we'll be back after the spoiler zone. Here we go.
Baby, baby!
Danger. The emergency destruct system is
Shut
now
up, Wesley.
activated.
Shut up, Wesley.
Ship will detonate in T-minus
Shut up, Wesley.
10 minutes. The option to override automatic
There will now be
detonation.
a short intermission.
Shut up, Wesley.
Definitely the spoiler zone.
Shut up, Wesley.
We're still in the
think
spoiler
you're-
zone.
I think you're overplaying it.
Really?
Shut up, Wesley. Shut up, Wesley. Shut up, Wesley.
Can you tell I'm dragging this out because I don't think we've got an awful lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So it's fucking nuts, isn't it?
Yeah, just a bit.
Go on then, Elton.
Okay, I think it looks gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
I think it looks really, really good, and it lulls you into a false sense of security because it looks so gritty and real that you're like, oh, okay, this is gonna be flipping awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
And one of the first kills when he shoves that knife into the side of that guy's head.
Through his ear. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I kind of wish that he'd put it through his temple behind his eyes and cut his eyes out in half, and then you'd see the knife in the eye holes. I think that would have been better.
Jesus Christ. Okay, that's brought up a question. One of them is, why is Elton not in therapy? Right. Okay. Yeah. I guess that's a good place to start, isn't it? How far is too far, and did it go far enough for you? Because this movie is just a visceral assault from start to finish, isn't it? Really, it's just like blood, guts, gore, violence, ultra violence, running away, explosions, blood everywhere, scarring, decapitations, frisbees to the head made of landmines. I mean, the lot. So, how far is too far, and did it go far enough? Because Elton's comment about the knife behind the eyes kind of sets up, he's like, really? So go on, Dal. What do you think?
Well, there's another scene in it that I thought, because this is where I was literally shouting at the TV for him to do something. Right, I've got my headphones on, so that there's like the volume's off, so it's just me talking louder and louder in the living room. Right, okay. So I don't know what the neighbours thought, but I kept screaming, "Get him in the bollocks with the pickaxe!" That was it was the bit where he catches up with the rapey bloke.
Yes.
And I'm just, hit him in the bollocks, get him in the bollocks. It's like Emperor Palpatine, do it, Anakin. Hit Dooku in the bollocks.
Yeah.
So I don't think, it was like you let him off easily.
Right.
That's it. I know you gave him over to the girls, but all they seem to do is just tie him to the sort of like, the actual barrel of a tank.
Yeah.
And then take him to the Finnish forces.
Was it? Were they Finnish or were they?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Well, she didn't drive the bloody Nazis, did she?
No. For some reason, I thought they were Russian. I'm not quite sure why I thought that.
No, they're Finnish.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I mean, in general, I thought the violence itself just very, very satisfying, very cathartic to watch it take place on these sort of people.
Yeah.
And I love, because you get that bit in every single one of these sort of films where there's something in the eyes of the actual enemy where they suddenly realise that it's going supernatural now. That's it. It's like this thing is now, we've tried to kill him. We thought we've killed him off, but he just seems to still be alive.
Mm.
Is he a fucking ghost? You know?
Is he immortal? No, he just refuses to die.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that. I love it. It's the look of, you can see their confidence. It's the bit where the confidence really gets chipped away. And you can see it failing in every single one of them.
Yeah.
And they're not so sure of themselves anymore because it's that cockiness you want wiped out from these sort of characters. And I just love that it gives that. It does that. It's, as I say, very satisfying to watch.
Yeah.
No great, you won't get them discussing this down any Christian Science reading rooms, but
No.
it certainly got a thumbs up from me.
Yeah.
For that one, just that. I thought, yes.
Yeah.
The leader of the group, I don't know. I mean, it was funny, the death, how he finally got done.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I was looking for something a bit more sort of, he's dying very slowly, isn't he? Yes. Yeah. No, he he had his light snuffed out too quick.
Yeah, Askell Hen, is it Henny? He was in the Trip. That one we saw with he was the cuckolded husband who was taking her out,
of course he was. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he was gonna kill his wife in the house. And he was also in The Martian. He was one of the crew on the Hermes.
Oh right, okay.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. So he's starting to turn into one of those guys you go, oh, it's him. Oh, I see.
Yeah, he's the what's his name? Who's that guy they call Russian, even though he's not Russian? He's got bald hair, long. He's got sort of like, receding hairline, long at the back. And he was in was it Armageddon as the drunk Russian on the space station?
Oh, you're talking about Peter Stormare?
Yeah, him.
No,
yeah, he gets hired to play a lot of Russians.
Yeah,
that bloke,
or Satan.
Yeah, or Satan. Yeah,
he's from Beckham. No, anyway, so go on in now. And what about you?
In what respect? Sorry, I forgot the question.
It was. Is it too far? It didn't go far enough with you because you started coming out with like, I want to see the blade behind the eyes.
Yeah, I did.
Go crazy,
so
go
badly
bonkers.
Wanted that, yeah.
So yeah, okay. How far's too far, and was it far enough for you?
I think it went far enough for me. It drew from Indiana Jones quite a lot, I thought. At one point, I honestly thought he was going to get an inflatable boat out of the plane. I thought that's how he's going to get out of this, isn't it? But he didn't. But I think if you start off strong with like the knife in the head, you're like, oh, flip it out. There's some punch there. Definitely. To go into a skull and then out of a skull as well. You're like, flip it out. And it's really raw. And there's a lot of power in that as well. And massive statement. And then it kind of goes cartoonish. And so once it does that, then you can go as far as you want. And however far you want with it. The problem I have with him is he's got a lot of plot armor.
Yes.
That goes along with it. And you can put that to one side and enjoy it. And I think for the most part of it, I did. It took me half the film to realize, oh, hang on. Yeah, he's so strong. He's invincible in this, isn't he? He's on God mode.
Yeah.
So we can have a bit of fun with it. But it did take me half the movie to work that out. I think it was when he was climbing out of the river. No, actually, there's a couple of times like in the landmine, you're like, oh, bloody hell, okay, how's he going to do this?
Yeah,
and then
even more than that.
Yeah.
That's when the fucking plane crashes. And it's like,
That's
You're-
the final one. Yes, yeah,
You're going to leave more than a mark with that, surely. And he like climbs out the mud.
yeah. But he's on the other bank of the river, and he's just getting
Yep.
gunned down. He's using the body of the other man for protection. Yeah, because that ammunition shot would not have gone through that man,
Of
tore
course it wouldn't.
him into pieces, and tore you into pieces as well.
Yeah, that 50 cal is designed for bringing down planes. Yeah, it stops at this tiny fat guy's back.
Excuse me. He's probably because it's a bit cold. He's got an extra vest on. I think you'll find that that's why the bullets didn't go through.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
But I don't mind once you kind of know, like the second watch of it, it won't go far enough for me now. I know that because I know how far it's gone, and what I'm in for. You can go, okay, right. Second time round, I'm just going to enjoy it for what it is. The visceral look of blood absolutely everywhere. He loses about 34 pints of blood just in spit alone.
Yeah, well, I think as soon as the credits roll and he walks off into the sunset, basically sepsis, gangrene, and several other diseases are going to fell him before he even gets as far as the end of the door of the bank.
Oh, he's screwed. Yeah, definitely.
Oh God, yeah.
He's got more diesel in him than actual blood.
And I was going to say he's got petrol, diesel. He's got moss, marsh. He's got
muddy water.
Bits of rusted metal, length of old rusty chain. I mean, it's literally the guy's almost an android. The amount of metal and robot parts he's got stuck in him by the end of it.
Yep, indeed. Let's also a quick nod to his indestructible dog as well, which I'm so pleased about. That wonderful dog that he's got with him, who's like just happily bouncing along.
Well, it takes the full blast of a fucking grenade in the face and walks off.
And it walks off. La 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 la
Yeah.
la la la. So I sat there through that part of the movie, looking at it, thinking, "Don't let the dog die. Don't you fucking shoot the dog. Don't you fucking dare."
Well, see that's the really weird thing, and that's the kind of where my question about going too far comes from, because it was kind of strangely prudish about anything happening to things like the dog or the women, to be quite frank. It kind of implies a lot of stuff with them.
Yeah.
But it's quite happy to, drive a knife behind someone's eyes. It's quite happy to have Askell basically under the water ripping out people's throats and just taking an extra gasp of air from their lungs.
Yeah.
These kind
that was great. I love that.
I mean, it's
so
like
ridiculous.
He's kind of ridiculous, but it's like, hang on. So he's using them as like fucking oxygen tanks.
Yeah.
And you think, okay, so we're okay with literally seeing someone tear someone else's throat out and breathe through their own larynx. Like multiple
I've got
times.
no problem with that.
We got no problem with that, but whoa, watch out. You don't want to fuck with the dog. And it's like,
don't fuck with the dog.
It's like, really? It's kind of weird, because it's kind of one of those things where it's kind of like, either do it or don't. Either go hard or don't bother. Because the bit where I thought, okay, all bets are off, was when he was on the horse and he went through the minefield.
Yeah.
And Dobbin went from Dobbin to Big Mac in about a millisecond. I was like, okay.
He wasn't even going to the glue factory, was he? No, not at all.
He couldn't even make a tiny tub of Brit stick, or even that little pot of glue that you used to get at school, which dried out really quickly. He was.
Yep.
Went from Grand National to pantomime horse in
he went
about
from
30 seconds.
He went from Grand National to ground beef. Is what he went from. But yeah, and as soon as that happened, I thought, right, okay, now we're talking. Now, I mean, not that I want to see horses die, but I'm just saying that there's a kind of unwritten rule: don't touch the animals, don't touch the kids, kind of thing. And it's like, as soon as one of those rules is broken, it sort of puts the audience on the back foot. But then it's like, then it's all strangely prudish about, oh, don't let the dog die. And it's like the dog's got a fucking hand grenade attached to it. And it's like, really? Oh, it's fine, is it? It's licking from a pot. We see it fly away, licking from a pot. But yeah, and then it's kind of, it was like I say, it was weirdly prudish. It'll be like 1 minute it's quite happy to watch a man who's being hung save himself by suspending himself from a bullet hole in his own leg by sticking it on a piece of rebar and hanging himself off that for about 20 minutes, for about 2 hours. But no, we can't see the dog die.
Well,
no, what?
you could say the same thing about the ladies in the truck, and the film's not about them. It's about him and his gold, and him wanting his gold, and the women are a byproduct of what he's actually going through. It's not him rescuing them or doing the right thing on trying to rescue them. Yes, he gives them guns and ammunition to help them fight their way out, but he's not there for them. He's there for his gold. And so, it's a weird one, because normally you'd have him, oh, I'm going to take a detour, and luckily the gold ends up in his lap, but that's not the way it tends to flow, I don't think. No,
it does have a kind of don't fuck with the Finns kind of vibe to the whole thing. At the end, it's like, he's not going to rescue them because they don't need rescuing. They just need the tools to rescue themselves.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. And it's like, I admire that.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe that's a positive message throughout all of this. You could do this. You've got it within you. Just have a machine gun. There we go.
Yeah, machine gun will solve everything, apparently. No, I was going to say, what is the thing? How do you feel about the side plot with the ladies in the back? I mean, because the second time round watching it, I got the sense that they were there to fill out the time and to take care of the majority of what I'd call the trash mobs. Yeah, the extra soldiers who haven't said anything but just sat in the back and they're just there like a constant threat.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, we can't have him kill each and every one of them individually, one by one. And, and we need to have someone explain his backstory because otherwise nobody has a clue. And so you have to have these ladies in the back going, yeah, he's a legend. He's done this. He's done that. He's killed these people. He's not immortal. He just refuses to die. Oh, by the way, we're also conveniently here to take care of the 20 guys in the back of the truck, and then you'll never see us again. I mean, how did you guys feel about the ladies in the back?
Well, if they had not been in it, it wouldn't have mattered. That's it. You could have just had him tracking down this convoy of Nazis. And it still would have been as enjoyable. If they were there to make you feel like, oh, evil Nazis have kidnapped women, then I don't know. It just they were there. They fulfilled a purpose and then went home.
Yeah, Poochie went home to his back to his home planet. What about you, Elton?
They didn't really do much for me, to be honest. I would like to have seen a little bit more, but as you say, Darren, did it affect the movie? I think it added something of there's a side mission there. But he didn't really go for it. It was
no.
Once again, as I said before, that was not his mission to save. His mission was his gold, to get that back, and to kill every Nazi that had kind of touched the gold. But it was it wasn't his priority. The women weren't his priority. But as you said, maybe he knew the women could just take care of themselves, just give them the tools in which they can sort it out, and they will sort it out. But they never. Well, they seemed scared in the beginning, didn't they? But once they knew he was on site, then it all kind of role reversed, didn't it?
Yeah.
Once they start talking about him to the other guys, and they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, of course, yeah, we're quaking in our boots, yeah, really," and then get a pickaxe in the back.
Yeah.
But then that goes along with like the plot armor that he's, nobody saw him climb up that truck from anywhere at all whatsoever. It's just, there's so many things like that. I lost count on how many times that sort of thing happened.
Yeah, the plot armor was kind of it reminded me of Rambo, the very first Blood, when the police go back after him in the forest, when they go after Rambo in the forest, and he picks them off one by one with Deliverance style weapons. He's sort of like the bit of tree and the bit of the cheese wire and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of that, because the thing is, as soon as one person goes, ah, and then Brian Dennehy goes, oh shit, one of my men is down, he would, ideally he would have just gone, everyone focus on me, we'll join up, because spreading out is a bad move. But instead, plot armor dictates that he must go one-on-one with a psychopath who's had like plenty of hours to sit there and set up like fucking spring traps made out of trees.
Yeah.
It's just like, it has to happen or the film doesn't happen. So there was lots of that sort of stuff with Sisu. I mean, I
See, what did you think about the women? And were they a major part of the film, or were they just like a side quest?
I like I say, it sounds horrible, doesn't it, side quest? But I did feel like somewhere along the line they worked out that if you didn't have someone explaining who Askell was, and if you didn't have...
Because he wasn't going to do it, was he?
No, he wasn't going to do it. I was going to say, he didn't have to learn a lot of lines, to be perfectly frank, though that last scene probably had like 65 takes because he kept forgetting the one line he had to write. Now,
I wish he'd gone into the bank and put all his gold on the thing and gone, I'd like to open an ISA.
Yeah,
I'd like a high interest savings account, please.
I would like to pay my EE bill.
Do you do mobile top up?
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to put this down on my repayments on my house. But
is there an early repayment plan?
Yeah. Do I get penalties for paying off early?
There you go. This week's electricity.
Yeah, exactly. But no, his whole plot and his thing. Every single action scene with him was him and one-on-one with either a bad guy or maybe two at a top. And so when you see the truck with like 20 odd soldiers in the back, you think, okay, well, how's he going to take care of them? And they're always there as a threat that they're somewhere, they're in the convoy, when really you're only focusing on like 5 Nazis tops, and you've also got the you've got the ladies, and I think the ladies are there to do two things: explain him, pad out the runtime, and take care of that truck that the director suddenly goes, oh fuck, yeah, actually we've got another 20 guys to get rid of, and we've only got enough budget for the next 4 guys, and that's it. So they were just a sort of traveling camper van of disposable people that could be put in like boats and floated out into the river and killed, and that's cool. But I think the problem is that, for all the sort of noble intention of showing that ladies don't need anything but the tools to get the job done, and that's cool, to me it seemed like, for the most part, they were there purely as an exposition dump.
Yeah.
Which is a bit unfortunate, really. But then I do acknowledge that if you got rid of them, you'd have to get rid of that truckload of blokes in the back, and you would probably have a runtime of about 65 minutes.
or you'd have to have a Nazi that would know the history of. They heard stories about this guy that was unstoppable.
Yeah, because they tried that. They tried it at the beginning with the message coming in from high command in the tank. Just like the guy turning around and going, "Oh yeah, I got a message. It's this guy. You were lucky to get away." And it's like, how do you know who this guy is?
That's
You
right,
literally, all you got is some dog tags. Like anyone's got the records on this guy. So it's and then it gets repeated a bit more explicitly as a kind of campfire tale by the girls in the back of the car, in the back of the truck. Yeah, that's a bit of a weird one. But let's just. I was going to ask you one thing. How did you feel about the Quentin Tarantino style vibe of the titles and the chapters and all that kind of stuff? Did that do anything for you?
I thought of it more like a spaghetti western than anything else. It reminded me of that a bit.
Oh yeah,
but I didn't mind. I didn't mind it.
Yeah, fair enough. Elton,
I quite liked it on this. It suited it. It added to the comic book feel of it.
Yeah.
So I was quite happy with it. I don't mind it when movies do that if it kind of saves time as well. And so if you're saying that this is where you meet the dragon, great. Okay, now we know we're going to meet the dragon in this bit here. And that saves all that build up to getting to a certain point. Sometimes they're setting the scene, and then you have to have dialogue because otherwise you need to get from point A to point B. And really, that title thing is like, okay, this is what we're going to be doing in this bit. They're all going to die. Brilliant. Yeah. Okay, let's watch this. And this movie is about. I forget. There was something about they all die or something like that. One of the title scenes, but
kill them all.
Yeah, kill them all. So you see that written down, and you're like, okay, great. You sit back, you cross your arms, and go on then. That's what I did.
Yeah. I now know what I'm about to get, and I will sit here and enjoy it. Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's fair. I just. For me, it was one of those things. As soon as it appeared, and I've seen it with things like, was it the League of Ungentlemanly Warfare or whatever it is? The Henry Cavill thing. That's like,
yes,
it does the same kind of vibe of
you should shoot him.
Yes, you should shoot him.
He hates Nazis,
Yeah, it's the Guy Ritchie pretending to be Tarantino vibe thing of like here's some big titles over the top of the action just to really it's like, no, come on, really, stop it. Okay, let's just go on to a bit. I mentioned that the film turned in its third act into a Looney Tunes track.
Yes.
You, Elton, seem to think that you knew where it was at what point it did it. Would you look I'm guessing you have a similar feel. Where did you think the film took a turn? And
the jousting.
The jousting?
Bike versus plane.
Sorry?
When he was on the bike,
Game of chicken,
heading towards the plane, and he jumped off the bike with the pickaxe.
Yes.
And you're like, okay, he's got to get on that plane somehow, isn't he? He's like, oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, this has gone ridiculous now.
Yeah.
And then he's underneath, he slips underneath the plane and falls backwards. No.
Gravity
Physics.
no longer works. Gravity.exe has failed to start. Please restart the world and try again. Yeah.
Do you want moon gravity? Yes.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Physics. Yeah. Gravity equals 0.1, 0.2, 1, or 5. It's just like, let's put it down to 0.
Do you think it had gone crazy before that then?
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
I think, because the thing is, the point where I thought, okay, you've gone crazy, go bonkers now, was actually a lot earlier than that. Firstly, it was the dog surviving the landmine. Not the landmine, the grenade. But once they hung him, and it's like, okay, they've hung him. We've seen that he can hold his breath for like a minute under the water without needing someone else's lungs. But then he sort of like manages to hook himself up on his leg on a piece of rebar, which was, grim and gross and, quite tense. But he's still hanging off that rope.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that rebar, as much as you might think, oh, it's holding him up, it's still not holding his entire... If it's holding his entire weight on that tiny hole, to the point, then how come the rope's still tight as fuck and holding him up? Why hasn't it gone loose?
Oh, yeah.
So he's already suffocated in my mind. And then, luckily, he's saved by a random passing plane happening to land right next to him. And it was just like...
Looking for fuel.
It's like, yeah, at this point, you've got no idea how to get him out of this, do you? You've literally got no idea. It couldn't have been any more ridiculous if someone said, "Oh, there is a bad storm coming in from the north," and the wind just blew the post over. It would have been just as believable. And then miraculously, he escapes from that. You don't see how. You just know that he does.
But I don't think that is Looney Tunes bonkers. Whereas jousting with a plane is Looney Tunes bonkers.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, it's that whole thing of where does your brain turn around and go, I'm no longer suspending my disbelief. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, that moment was when he was breathing the guy's air underwater.
Yeah, I mean, I could get around that. I could kind of go, yeah, okay, there's enough air in that guy's lungs for another puff, and he can hold his breath for like a minute. That's fine. He does it twice. Okay, I can let it go. There's a plausibility, no matter how silly it is. There's a plausibility to it, but but he literally has been hung for like hours.
Oh yeah.
And he's saved by a piece of rebar and a randomly landing plane. It's just like, yeah. At this point, if Godzilla had walked past and knocked everything over, I would have just gone, yeah, all right, that's fine. The dog has survived a grenade. He is.
All of a sudden, you hear it. And then the big light going lifts him up a little bit, puts him on the floor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Marvin the Martian comes in and goes, "You're in trouble. I've come to rescue you. Do not resist." Did you have a problem with any of that, Dal?
No, I just went with it, man.
That's cool.
That was it was just enjoyable. No thinking about this whatsoever. It gave me the level of revenge that I wanted. Is that it? It was just that was all you were after. Just give me visceral revenge. Yep.
Violence.
It's like it's Nazis. I don't give a shit about them. Do your worst, please.
Do your worst. Do your worst. Don't stop. Kill them all.
Just keep doing it. Yeah, indeed.
What was your favourite Nazi death then, Darren?
My favourite Nazi death.
Yes.
Well, I kind of like the first one with the shock expression on the face of the dead bloke who just had the knife through the head.
Yeah.
I like that one. I think they're all pretty good. I've got to say, even if the last one, the very last death, was like a bit. Oh, I wanted him to go fucking to town on him.
So how should he have died then? Because you're right, it is a bit lame compared to everything else.
I think it's very important in this film that the Nazis don't get the upper hand at all, really. I mean, they kind of did in one bit, but I think it's very important as a sort of a message that You know, if you're trying to say that, you know, evil men will meet an evil end.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all on board with that message personally, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's why you didn't see bad things happening to the women as well, because the only bad things you should see happening are to the enemy, the evil guys themselves, right? That's all you should see. That's all you should be left with, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't have any problem with it at all.
Okay. Yeah, I was. Yeah, I mean, I guess the suspension of disbelief thing is it is how much what you're trying to get out of the film. I think the problem I had was the first few kills were outrageous and outlandish, but they weren't unrealistic. You know, it wasn't.
Yep.
It,
Many a times I've thrown a landmine at someone's forehead.
Yes, but I'm just saying that the point.
180. Yeah.
Yeah. Think fast, Malkovich. Dunk. Oh.
I completely forgot about that.
But yeah, it's just I think the thing is you turn around and you go, oh, he's a professional, he can do that. I think the problem is when it just suddenly it's the thing I've said before. It's the Michael Bolton goes up to 11 on the first chorus thing.
Yeah, it's also a case of the fact that how many films have you watched where they've gone, oh, this person is unstoppable. He's, he's like, oh, he's a ghost in the night. He's Baba Yaga. And it's nice to see someone who actually does live up to that legend.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's completely unstoppable. I mean, the whole point is it's just, the movie's all about just determination and not backing down from anything. That's probably the only message to take from it.
And it's just it's fun, it's a rompus. It's a great ride through some stunning looking scenery. And that whole bit where he finds he comes to the town and it's all on fire and it's like images like that, which are things like that's a fucking desktop. That is. Look at that.
Well,
that image there.
the one shot I really liked was not the one with the city on fire, but the one where he comes out. He's still doing his mining at the beginning, and he hears all the thundering and the banging and the crashing, and he stands up on the horizon, and you just see the horizon literally just detonating all around. And I thought, oh, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful shot. It's terrifying, but it's a beautiful shot. And it is. It's a very pretty film. It's kind of, in some ways, it reminds me of Mad Max Fury Road. It looks beautiful and it's well choreographed, but you have to have a certain level of tolerance for the silliness it's delivering. Because if you don't, that's it. The game's over. And the bit with the pickaxe in the plane, it was just like, yeah. I mean, if Porky Pig had walked along the hull and talked to him while he was doing that, it would not have surprised me. He really wouldn't at that point. Especially with the commander falling out with the bomb as well. I mean, that was pure Wile E. Coyote. I mean,
fuck you.
If he had pulled out a sign going, "Please, for the love of God, roll credits before I land," I mean, that would not have surprised me.
Yep.
Yeah. But there you go. I mean,
there was one Nazi that I did feel slightly sorry for.
Oh
yeah. The tank driver.
Put your fucking hat back on.
Yeah, well, he showed him a little bit of respect there, as much as you can do when you've been hounding and butchering a person for gold. But yeah, there was that moment where he took his hat off, and so that shows a tiny bit of respect. And he was following orders up until the point where he got a bullet in his head, and that was just okay, yeah, that's just downright. I understand the Nazi way. That is the Nazi way, but flipping out.
Well, to be quite honest, I thought that was appropriate. I thought, silently following along, and not questioning anything and not doing anything about it. You've sided with the bad side. You've sided with the arseholes and, don't be surprised when they come around and bite your face
Oh,
off.
absolutely. Yeah, there's no honour amongst thieves, is there?
Or
Exactly.
Nazis. Yeah, exactly. So, okay then, let's wrap this up. Overall, good film. Goes a bit silly towards the end. Some unnecessary plot threads. Well, I say unnecessary, just ones that are obviously there to pad out.
Yeah.
But anything else you want to bring up? Anything else you want to? Because
I've got one more thing.
Go for it.
The actual poster.
Yes,
I honestly thought for the longest time that it was a man wearing a miner's hat.
it's his knife.
It's his knife, yeah. When I had a close look this week, and I was like, "Oh, that's not his hat. That's his knife."
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
They're not
cool.
pillows.
I like that.
yeah, that's his knife. Yeah, knife with all the Nazis actually reflected in it.
Yeah, and gold splattering around.
Yeah, I mean, here's a question then: would you want to see a sequel?
No.
I don't. But what would the sequel be about? I mean,
Well, he's got his money. The war hasn't finished.
it was coming to an end though. I mean, it's 44, so it's
Yeah, he's still got a year. A lot can
I
happen in a
know,
year. I mean,
Sisu, or should I say, what's his face opens a sandwich bar.
Sisu 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Sisu sandwiches.
Sisu Sanctuary. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just wondering.
Sisu 2, Predamonja.
Nice. All right then. I think we'll leave it there then. Has anyone got any additional things they want to bring up? Or should we just leave it there? I think we should just leave it there.
I'm done.
Yeah, cool, brilliant. Okay, well, if anybody else has any feedback on this film or anything they want to bring up or anything they think we've missed, then by all means send some feedback in to the Facebook group, facebook.com/group/the Black Dog Podcast, or send us an email, which is feedback@blackdogpodcast.com. Or, like I say, hit me up on Blue Sky, cartoonbeardy.bsky.social. Right. Let's, before we get to Pimp's Corner, find out what we're going to be reviewing next week. So, Elton, it's your pick. What have you got for us this week?
I can hear the nails being bitten.
I genuinely don't know, so I'm kind of in a little bit of a panic moment.
Well, we had Possessor last time, didn't we? And we've done Enemy as well.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to go a little bit different this time around. And this film has come back onto Amazon. So we are heading over to the world of Amazon Prime.
Okay.
It's a sports movie.
Okay.
I can hear you quaking in your boots.
Yeah, go on.
It's from 1987.
Oh, God. This is going to have Sylvester Stallone in it. Go on.
And it's called Over the Top.
I knew it.
Oh, man.
One of the greatest movies ever.
Oh, God.
You are welcome.
I feel like I've been tied to a bomb and I'm falling to the ground going, fuck you! Fuck you!
I've dished out some good and some poor movies, but this is totally different from what I've been putting out recently. So, yeah, it was going to happen at some point. It has come back onto Amazon Prime. You're welcome.
Darren.
Yes.
Are you looking forward to watching Sylvester Stallone's arm wrestling opus Over the Top?
I don't think I've ever watched an extremely serious Sylvester Stallone film, maybe Rocky, but yeah, this is it's going to be another fun watch. probably, it's not going to be a film that, again, like Sisu, is not going to be viewed down the Christian Science reading rooms at all.
No. The one thing I can't remember is, does it have a theme tune by Survivor? Does it have at least one?
Probably Frank Stallone. That's probably who's done the theme tune to this one.
Yeah. Does it have?
Nepotism is not a word that is obviously known by Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, you're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever bring you down. Have we got anything like that? I can never remember. I've only seen this.
Not too sure. It has won awards though. This film.
Yeah,
but we'll get into that next week.
The army.
You're a man with arms. You'll wrestle other men with arms on a table, with arms and legs and lots of oil up the arms. There's arms. How many times can I say arms in a song? Arms rhymes with palms that are also part of the arms.
Well, cue eagles in the background. Screeching eagles, and yep, that's it.
There's a truck as well.
Oh God,
that's drive a truck with your arms. See, I got more arms in the song there.
Is his final showdown against T-Rex?
No, it's against Dr. Octopus, because he also has lots of arms.
That's the theme. It's you're in the army now by Status Quo. Oh, God, this is going to be terrible. Right, do you know, I've seen this film once, literally when it came out on VHS, and I can't remember a fucking thing of it. I genuinely cannot. I have literally no idea what I'm getting into here. Because every time I think about it, I just keep thinking about Every Which Way But Loose, with lots of random stops at truck stops and random sort of like, oh, he looked at me askance, so now I shall fight him. But the only way I can fight him is using my arm wrestling powers. I will fight for my son or my child, or at least my wife, or some family member who's somehow inconvenienced. I've been on the road for several years, and I've got these arms because I've been masturbating furiously on my own. Other than that, I don't know how I managed to get these strength.
There are no dead hookers in my truck. Honest, Gulf.
No. I have no idea I've managed to amass this huge bodily mass by sitting here eating McDonald's and driving for thousands of miles across America. Yet somehow
my arms are developed, but none of the rest of my body is. It's really weird looking.
My body is atrophied. My body is atrophied into nothing more than a stick for my head and a stick for my arms to be suspended off of, and the rest is just junk food cartons. Arr! Eagle. Oh, God. Elton, I salute you, my friend. No one else would have pulled this shit off.
Nope.
No.
No, there's no way either of you three would have put this film up. So.
No, not even close. I've picked some shit in my time, but you have a particular talent for a particular set of skills on this kind of shit. So congratulations, well done, you.
Yep.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, next week we will be doing Over the Top. I suspect somehow that Jim's hospital stay might mysteriously extend by a week. But I couldn't say for sure, but hopefully he'll be back next week. But maybe he won't. So let's go to Pimp's Corner. Well, I will just say I'm going to go over to hypnagoria.com and find out what magical treats we have in store. There you go. Listen to this. Hypno man looks on the internet. Goria. Hypnagoria.com. There we go. And let's find out what's happening over there. Yes. At the moment, we have a commentary club on The Thing, with Jim and Teresa talking about The Thing, the 1982 version. There is also another commentary club on League of Gentlemen called Love Comes to Royston Vasey. He's also got on the main cast the Corman Poe cycle, H.P. Lovecraft's Haunted Palace, discussing that. And there is also a reading called The Mr. Lepescu by Anthony Boucher. There you go. And you can find that all over on hypnagoria.com. What about Rogue 2 Media? What's going on over there?
On the Band of Brothers, we have completed the Masters of the Air.
Right.
And we this Friday, we are releasing The Great Escape.
Releasing The Great Escape. Didn't they escape? I don't think they were released.
We are digging a tunnel for The Great Escape. There we go.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's it. That's the one.
Right. From that holiday camp that is
dropping
The
all
Great
that
Escape.
Dropping all that dirt out your ankles.
Yes.
While walking around. Nice. Cool. Okay. And Darren, are you doing anything?
No.
Congratulations. That's it. I think we'll leave it there. I do stuff. It's just I'm on Blue Sky. I've told you my Blue Sky account 3 times now. We'll leave it there. Do we have a phrase that pays? What can we put on the phrase that pays to prove that you've got as far at the end of this podcast?
Arms.
Yeah, arms.
I'm a man with arms. I drive with arms in a car with arms. I'm made of arms. There you go.
Yes, I didn't have appropriate arms, so they gave me the elbow.
Nice. Right. Okay. Well, there you go. I didn't have arms, so they gave me the elbow. That's the phrase that pays. Right. Well, thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Elton.
No problem.
And thank you, Jim, out there. I'm sure you're still listening. You probably aren't. I'm sure you've just gone. But if you're still here, hello, Jim. And we'll see everyone all next week for Over the Top, because I've got my arms and I'm driving with arms and the arms around my arms.
When I'm begging on the street, I'm asking for arms.
Arms. Arr! Eagle. Ta-da. Goodbye.
Ta-da.
Ta-da.
How many ta-las can we do? Eagle.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me down the road. It's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on.
I already came for a kebab.